We've got to ensure that the people know that I'm back. All right. Let's go. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Wow. Okay, it's been a while. It's been a long while. And let's just say the devil is a liar. Amen. Amen. I had to take a long break. A lot has happened and I can't wait to share that with you guys. So this channel is still all things mental health, but we're going to add in a bit of medicine, a bit of flow shade. We want to hear more about Florence, don't you? So hit the subscribe button. Thank you. At this time, I'm still technically a PA student and there have been a lot of videos that I've wanted to push out to you people to help the people. I've had a lot of questions. As most of you know, the PA course is very intense, and since I now have time on my hands now, if you want to understand what's going on in my weird and crazy life, please follow me, you know. Follow. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my journey to PA, how I got into PA, and how you too can get into PA. All the things that you kind of need to know, a good overview. I've put some timestamps in the description box below because that seems to be what everybody's doing nowadays, you know. Now, what is a physician associate? I think it's very important that we get the definition down so that we don't move into this process stupid, okay? I think there's a lot of misconceptions of what physician associates are. The definition that I like to give to people is PAs are medically trained generalists that work alongside nurses, doctors, HCAs to provide high quality care to patients. They work underneath the medical model but incorporate fundamentals of nursing into their practice. Basically, they can diagnose, they can treat, they can order investigations, interpret blood results, do research, they can be first assist in surgeries, they could, like I'm rapping, they can also run their own clinic. Honestly, when I found that out, I was like, okay. They do the whole shebang, yeah? I would really encourage you guys to watch this video. I think Donna goes into real detail of like kind of what they do on a day-to-day basis and how that compares to like what doctors do. PAs just provide that continuity for the NHS and they utilize the NHS's needs. Just make sure that, you know, healthcare is just keep on going. It's keep on going. So where can PAs work? Well, technically they can work anywhere and everywhere. Just send them the location and they'll be right there. They'll be right there. So they can work in primary and secondary care. Yeah? I'm filming right now. Yeah. So they have generalist knowledge, but they can be able to specialize. So if I want to go down the cardiology route, it's tickling my butt, but you're there and you're like, oh my gosh, this place is giving me a headache, you can move, you can switch to respiratory next week. There isn't that sort of set route compared to like doctors where you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 exams, and that's what kind of draws people to the role, is you're not really tied down to anything. I really think that this is an amazing course. It really gives people the opportunity to practice medicine but not have to sacrifice as much work and life balance, flexibility and things like that. So now let's move on to my journey. So, you know, where was Flow Shade back in the day? Well, I grew up in southwest London and I'm not like all those people who said, you know, I've always enjoyed science. I'm like, how? Like really and truly how? And I know that's really weird to say, but I'm just trying to keep it real with you guys. I think I really struggled because I have learning difficulties and I really preferred maths. But when I did understand science, I really enjoyed it, especially like the heart. It seems like everybody likes the heart, but I just really liked it and it just felt real, you know, and it felt important. That's kind of what drew me to it. Life, death, all of that shebang. I wanted life in my hands. I'm not God, but you know what I mean. But I don't like plants. Even though Timothy can stay, I do not like plants. You know, photosynthesis, God forbid. So I know that the PA course can be delivered as a 4-year course. So in terms of my grades, my GCSEs, I took triple science and here they are. And in terms of my A-levels, I took biology, chemistry and philosophy and ethics. I also took a maths AS, but I dropped that because I don't really know, they kicked me off. You know them ones? But I was really grateful to be able to get an offer to study biomedical sciences at the University of Warwick, ABB offer, but you know, your girl came out with CCB, yes! So she got rejected on clearing day. Like most people, I tried to call up and I was like, oh, Warwick, mental health, and they were like, yeah, no, sorry. So obviously on clearing day, I'm there trying to find another university, and thank God. You know when they say God makes a way in the wilderness? God really came through for me, and then I was able to get an offer to study medical physiology at the University of Nottingham. It's not just medical physiology, it's medical physiology and therapeutics, okay? If you are looking to do medicine or the physician associate course after, I would really recommend this degree because you have clinical skills, you get to see cadavers, you share lectures with graduate entry medicine students. It's just less lab work. There is some, you see the some? Because the less lab work, the better for my mental health. Okay, compared to like biomed where everything is like all down to the cell, you learn diseases, you learn signs, symptoms and treatments and things like that. So I really love my degree, and I didn't really appreciate it until I started the PA course, because I was like, wow, all right, I've done this, I've done some. So towards the end of my degree, I came out with a 2-1. It's so sad that, you know, my graduation was on Zoom, but University of Nottingham have said that they will postpone. They keep postponing, but that is okay as long as I have that day. All right, and then I applied to the Brighton and Sussex Medical School PA program. I got an offer on the day, and then I started in September, and now I have left. So that is sort of a quick overview of my journey to PA school. Now just what you came for. How can I do it too? Well, this section of the video is going to be how to get into PA school. Let's hit it back. Let's throw it back to the beginning of my application journey, where, you know, I had my glasses, whipped up on my computer, had my chilled Fanta in the corner, started researching the unis. In general, a 2-2 degree or a 2-1 degree, and it has to be in life science or something health related. I have had questions about nursing degrees. I know in some unis you need a year clinical experience as a nurse, and some people have asked me whether having a master's would override having a lower than a 2-2. Listen, it is so important that you email the universities straight if you have a unique academic background. This is not the time to be shy. It actually even looks better because you're being proactive. You have to email them and get an answer for them straight. Don't just take anyone's word for it. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview, but I really encourage you guys to go out and seek that information. Information is power, period. Some universities, you need to do the IELTS. Some universities require a B in maths or a B in English, but check the website. Some unis you don't even need it at all because, you know, you have a degree, so obviously you know English, no maths.
What's 9 plus 10?
21. Now onto the funding. Like, the amount of questions I've had concerning funding. I originally wanted to go to Surrey. That was the place I wanted to go. I was like, yes, I was all for it. I was going for it. And then I realized the funding was different for a PG dip, which is what Surrey offers. And I had to bring myself back to reality. So a quickie on funding. You get 11,222k from student finance if it's a master's, all right? Then you get a £5,000 bursary from the NHS, okay? You now get those two, you combine them together. That's 16,222k. Now you see that number, because the PA course is 2 years, split it into 2. That is how much you get every year, and then it's in 3 installments each year. So there's different entries, so you can have January entry or you can have a September entry, just depends. Now with the PG dip, from my understanding, you don't get student finance, but you do, I think, get the £5,000 bursary. But once again, what you email. Some advice on funding, I would say definitely look at whether the university offers grants, scholarship, bursaries, or like weird little programs or schemes. So for example, at Brighton and Sussex, they offered a £3,000 scholarship if you had the first class. So you can imagine, okay, when I got 68%, I was mad. You know, you might as well just put ticket on my forehead. Also, part-time job. A lot of questions. Can I work part-time? Anything is possible with the grace of God. Like, you can do whatever you set your mind to. Don't let anybody who, you know, hasn't been able to do it influence your ability to do this course, or influence your ability to grind and get what you need to do. I got a job, baby. If you start it and you see, hey, I cannot do it, then it's okay to take some time off and come back stronger, okay? Save money. If somebody has not told you to save money yet, God, save money. Thanks. Also, this is like a random like slot in, but a lot of questions about whether you can have kids or do the course with kids. Anything is possible, once again, with the mercy of God. Definitely just ask around. I know that Donna, she had kids and she did it. Just, you need to know your limits and know what you can and can't do. You can do the course at some universities part-time, which I would assume less money and less intensity. How do you pick a university that is right for you? Well, I have a list. Let me get my list. Location. Location is very important, because would you want to cry at home stressed, or do you want to cry here with your friends? Pick one. Next, degree cost. So like I mentioned before, masters, PG dip, funding is different, but also factor in whether with a master's you have to do a dissertation. Do you think you still have that in you to do a dissertation?
Why are you running?
Teaching style. Is there more self-directed or independent learning versus when the teacher come and teach you? Is there more PBL? Is the content aligned with the national exam at the end? I know at Brighton and Sussex, such a great program. Our course lead, was affiliated with the FPA. She was just really passionate in ensuring that we are the best PAs in the country.
Yes, as you should.
That's why Brighton and Sussex is the place for you. Resources, are they good at their clinical skills? The rooms, the group rooms, all those, the resources, campus, is it looking nice? Now, this is why I kind of chose Brighton and Sussex, because they were affiliated with an established medical school. Like, the med students were already there. So the structure, the foundation was already there. So you didn't have to like break your back to have quality teaching. And also another reason is because it had a small cohort size. So it was only about 22 of us compared to other programs where there's, 70, 100 plus. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Amen. Amen. Also, you can look at the national pass rate. All I knew is that Brighton and Sussex was high, so I was going wherever the pass rate was high. Then you also want to factor in the length of the course. Obviously, there's a 4-year course and a 2-year course. Then you want to look at hospital affiliations. What hospitals are they affiliated with? What's around the area? Those are a list of things that you might want to consider when you're trying to pick which university is right for Flochet, But once again, if you have like any other questions, email them, because they are more than willing to help. Message PAs on Instagram, and you can send me a DM and I'll try and find someone who kind of goes to that university. I'm not a miracle worker, but I can try. And definitely try and join this aspiring PA group chat on Facebook. Amazing. If you have questions, just throw it in there. Look at the deadlines of the universities that you want to pick and see how you're supposed to apply. Is it directly or is it through UCAS? Get that reference in. You want to pick somebody nice who knows you quite well, who can write you a good reference. Try and ask them, before you start writing your personal statement. Don't pick anybody who's been mean to you. Don't destroy your career like that. The personal statement will be different characters. I know some universities, they'll be doing 800 words, 2,000 words. Some people will be doing up characters, because I had a long version and a short version. Let me just drink some water. So I just wanted to quickly touch on work experience. You do not need to have clinical experience. It is not a necessity. However, just need to make sure, for example, if you have a retail job, that you link and relate it back to being a PA. Try and draw out the skills that you've learned from that experience and how those skills will make you a good PA student or a qualified PA. Now on to personal statement. Big personal statement. You're like, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. It just seems like it's not working. I don't know what to write. All of this, I'm here to help. I started writing my personal statement in February, and I kind of tweaked it from my medicine personal statement. And don't be afraid to use medicine resources or medicine example personal statements that you see online. The skills and qualities that they want from a physician associate is very similar to those of a doctor, and very similar to those of any healthcare professional working in the NHS, from communication skills to teamwork. I would also encourage you to look at the website and go under their requirements, because sometimes they can put non-academic requirements, and you want to make sure that your personal statement reflects those competencies. So how did I structure mine? It's so important that you are honest and personal. That is what's going to make you stand out. Nobody has a mad experience, but if you are truthful and you have a story to tell, you want to put that through. Now, sometimes it might be difficult to put it into words. Find someone to help you make it look nice, and so for me, it was losing my father, and that was my initial spark into the world of healthcare and science and all that jazz. In terms of the paragraph, so in paragraph 1, I would definitely recommend that you start off with like your YPA, the science. What was the spark for you? Was it a patient? Was it a job? Then in paragraph 2, you could talk about your degree and what you learned from the degree. And also if you have like any extra modules that you can just throw in there. So for example, I did a PBL module. That looked good. Tell the people, I'm ready for this course, Then in paragraph 3, you want to add in your work experience. Don't put so much. 1 or 2 is enough. You want to be specific with the examples that you give. What were you doing? Who was the patient? Do not Do not list your experiences. You need to be able to reflect. I know people hear this a lot. Now, what do I mean by reflecting on your work experience? So there are a list of skills that make a good physician associate, and there's also realities of the role. So realities of how the NHS is set up, the realities of, you know, the challenges that PAs face, and insight into how intense, you know, the PA course. So when you're talking about your experiences, your work experience, you want to be relating it to these skills or these, you know, realities. In paragraph 4, you want to be talking about your hobbies, your interests, any achievements that you've done. So for example, I did the Duke of Edinburgh. I did 1/3 of my Nottingham award. Let's not lie. Can we not lie, people? No lying on your personal statement. Don't do that. It will come and bite you in the bum bum. And then in your conclusion, you want to link it back to your YPA and also like why you ended off strong. Say that you're academically resilient and you have the ability to cope with stress, high achiever, you know, that kind of, you know, nice concluding statement. In terms of like proofreading, if you don't have anybody around you, for example, your personal tutor, friends and family, definitely try Fiverr. There are some people on there who, you know, you can pay to proofread your personal statement just to make sure that it's all grammatically correct and looking all but also, you know, I just wanted to plug in, I love reading personal statements, so if you would like me to read yours, just hit me up. Another thing is stop putting the full hospital name. You can if you did work experience with NASA, at Yale. I don't put like University Hospital of Burton. That's just a waste of words. Also, you don't even need to put like university that you went to. You need a 2-1 degree. That's all they need. You need to understand, like, why do they need a personal statement from me? What are they looking for? What do you think that they want to hear? They want to hear that you can demonstrate the skills that make a good physician associate. Telling them the university name will not help you. Okay? Thank you. So the last section-ish of, you know, the application process. You've done it all. You've got to this point. You have been offered an interview. Well done. Well done, congratulations. You earned it. I'm so proud of you. Now it's the last step. And I know it can be scary. It can be so nerve-wracking. This might be your first in medical school type of interview. Don't worry, because your personal statement has been enough to show that you are capable of doing this course. You need to go in there being yourself. So when I got my interview, I was so ecstatic. And I don't really use that word often, but for this, I was elated, ecstatic, yeah? It was one of the happiest days of my life, honestly, but I knew that I needed to start grinding. So I went over my personal statement, hone in on the experiences that I've, you know, mentioned in my personal statement and try to like expand them a bit more, see whether I could talk about that experience, you know, for a minute or so. I also went through, you know, common questions like why PA? Why PA over a doctor? What skills make a good PA? Also went through ethical scenarios. Definitely would like to plug in the medic portal. Like I said, once again, don't shy away of using medicine resources. They're not going to bite you. Also, I looked at the challenges that are facing the PA role, and I also looked at behavioural scenarios. So like a time I worked in a team or a time I had to be a good communicator, all of that jazz. Additionally, non-verbal communication. Make sure you have good eye contact. Can you see the way my eyes have been locked with yours for the last I don't know how many minutes? Fake it till you make it, right? Definitely want to smile. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that do not smile. Why are you not happy to be here? Are you not happy to have this opportunity? Smile, God's sake. And also be yourself. Do not use a tone that you're not used to. Don't go, oh hello, my name is Florence and I'm really glad to be here. Don't be doing that, because everybody's going to be doing that. You want to stand out, and if you're yourself, if you bust a couple jokes but also say the things that you need to say, you come across really charismatic, enthusiastic. Use your hands if you like to use your hands, but make sure that, you know, you're not all over the place. Don't use words that you don't normally use. Talk normally the same way that you talk to a friend, but, you know, don't be swearing and stuff. Then you're more likely to just focus on the content of what you're saying rather than how you're saying it. Does that make sense? Make sure there's a flow, but don't focus on rolling your R's. You know what I'm saying? For me, I typed out my answers for all the common questions. I'll plug in Karma Medic's video here. Kind of follow what he did, and I found that really helpful to see what I need to say when I first started. I was using bullet points, and I just, you know, for each point I would say a couple lines and then I'll start to waffle. Write it out in full so you know what you're saying when, and then from that point you then break it down into bullet points. And lastly, but most importantly, practice as if there's no tomorrow. Practice, practice, practice. I'm not saying sit there and practice in your head. I'm not saying sit there and practice out loud. Record yourself. Record yourself as many times as you need. I think I had over 100 videos of me, you know, just practicing my answers. Also practice with other people. Get your family and friends. Have a list of questions and ask them to pick, you know, one for you. Go on Instagram. Message a couple PAs. Say like, is it possible for you to have a mock interview with me? You need to stimulate that environment where you're like, you know, oh my God, like I'm so nervous. You need to stimulate that environment as much as possible because you want to see how you react under that pressure. You don't know whether when you're stressed you start singing all the wrong things, you know, Beyonce is trash. The more you're in that kind of environment, I don't know what happens, but your body just kind of calms down because it doesn't see it as scary anymore. Some things that I've done to kind of manage my nerves is power poses, and then also you could do some meditation. I know you don't like to hear this, but breathing exercises. 4, 4, 4, 4. There are some teas that you can have, you know, calming teas. But also it's your mentality, knowing that it is going to be okay after. Like, you're just going to go in there and try your best. And if you feel like maybe your anxiety is like very overwhelming, I would recommend, you know, going to your doctor and to see if there's anything that they can do for you. Also during this time, I also understand, like, you know, you might have other coursework to do with your degree that you're currently on. You might have a dissertation to do. I've been there. Don't apply to too many universities so that you don't have too many interviews. And then also waiting to hear back is so stressful as well. Please just know that you've done your best and that you're totally worth it. I'm proud of you if you've been able to go through this whole process, but please take care of your mental health. Do the things that you love to do. Get outside, make sure you're walking and not just sitting down stressing, okay? So we are done. We are done. That was a long video, wasn't it? Man, gosh. Wow. I really hope, guys, that was really helpful and useful to you guys. I've always wanted to get this kind of video out, and there is many more videos to come, so I really recommend that you hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be taking you on my journey of why I've sort of left the PA course, what I'm kind of doing now, where I see my life heading, you know, my recent diagnosis of ADHD. I just have a lot that I need to tell you guys, and share with your friends, share with your family, like, comment, subscribe. It would really support me. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope that you have a fabulous day.